Now that I've shown you a good portion of the greatest mods to exist within the Stalker modding community, I wanted to take some time to offer some insight and ideas for the future of immersion and realism inside Anomaly. Keep in mind, none of the mods I'm talking about today are real, they're just ideas that I have for the game, in case some genius somewhere wants to help make the overall experience even better than it already is. With the most recent addition of the Vaulting Mantling mod, I no longer doubt that it's possible to make a mod of anything within Anomaly's vast and powerfully encapsulating world. The first thing that I think would make this game a dream come true would be sprint sliding. I'm unsure of how close they are, but according to another user on this platform, they've already begun testing a new mod with this feature in some of the other variations of Stalker. Keep in mind, it's also not essential for Stalker to have all of these very tactical mods, and it doesn't necessarily have to have any of them to be fun for me, but I enjoy the overall immersion I've felt with mods since installing them long ago. The action of sprinting while sliding might be a bit painful and inconvenient in real life, but wouldn't it be perfect in Anomaly? Imagine dodging your enemies by being able to run and slide behind cover. It would make for some intense firefights. That's not the only mod idea I have, so please feel free to sit back, relax, and enjoy as I dream about the various progressions this game has made since release. Hey, you know what else would be pretty fucking cool? Being able to control certain aspects of the zone, like your companions. Sure, you can give them directions and new objectives and stuff, but let's take it a step even further with mutant companions. It would be fucking awesome to be able to attack your enemies using a mutant of your choosing. It might not be the most realistic thing, but it's also not impossible. Who's to say that the doctor is the only person who can have a fucking pet pseudo-dog? Why can't I? The damn thing even guards his secret hideout from intruders, let alone follows him everywhere he goes. I'd like to see someone incorporate a mod that allows you to train or at least become friends somehow with a mutant that will listen to your commands. I've said this before, but having the ability to send a wave of bloodsuckers after some bandits will never not seem appealing to me, so someone has to make it happen. I'd also like to see a mod that reconfigures the ammunition into special variants like incendiary, explosive, and others. You can't tell me the idea of blowing up someone's upper torso with a well-placed 50 caliber explosive round wouldn't be hilarious. And setting zombies ablaze with incendiary ammunition would be effective as the flames would deal damage over time, ultimately saving your bullets. Speaking of fire, would you believe that there are no Molotov cocktails in Stalker Anomaly? I have yet to see a mod that introduces them to the main game, but that's something I've wanted for years. They have grenade mods and even a mod that allows you to throw placeable bombs, but there are no signs of the familiar bottle and rag anywhere in the base game, which kinda confuses me. I'd also love to see mods where new mutants are introduced to the zone. They already have a few of these on ModDB, but none that I've ever gotten to work personally. It would be pretty spooky to discover a new variation of a bloodsucker or a flesh that we haven't seen before, let alone something completely different in the zone. Kind of a no-brainer at this point, but wouldn't it be nice to drive vehicles through the zone? I'm not saying it has to be the most perfected driving system within the game, but it would be considered revolutionary if someone were able to program vehicular travel within Stalker's various engine limitations. Apparently, in Stalker Gamma, they already have, which is just crazy to me. I've already gone over all of the mods that I have currently installed, so I'm not going to be talking about those here. If you're curious to see what's available for Anomaly in the modded world, feel free to check out my other videos on the subject. I've made like fucking 10. Maybe someday I'll review Gamma, but I'm just having way too much fun with Anomaly and other games right now, so I don't know. An option to see a first and third person animation for musical instruments would be kind of cool and immerse me whenever I stop at a campfire full of other stalkers. I've been unable to find an animation mod for these in particular, or perhaps there could someday be a mod that allows you to play the individual notes freely, kinda like The Last of Us Part 2. How about a dirt and blood mod for your view model? I think it makes sense to have the ability to get scuffed up and filthy from the zone's unhygienic environment, along with capturing any blood from your enemies onto your clothing and weapons. Just a nice little detail that I think would work great for this game. Imagine you submerge yourself in water and can see your arms dripping wet in front of you. Or better yet, imagine if you were walking in prone through the dirt and you just get all muddy and shit. It'd be cool. Besides all the effects though, there are some other mods that would greater benefit the game, such as the ability to properly move in prone, since as of right now there isn't even an animation for stalkers crawling around on all fours. Instead, they just float around in an idle position like a statue statue. It's very ugly in third person. I'd also like the ability to vault over waist-high objects and walls. I know they've already incorporated a way of mantling a fence or some sort of taller structure, but it does annoy me that I have to hop up and down 6 times just to get over a fucking railing. One major mod that I think would be super cool is a takedown/execution mod. Imagine being stealthy as fuck, sneaking your way into an enemy's camp or base, and silently killing everyone there by approaching them from behind, and watching a cool takedown animation take place. I mean, Gary's mod did it with BS mod, and that game was developed in 2004. I don't think it's the most far-fetched theory to believe they could make it happen here. Fuck, you could make anything happen here. This is Stalker Anomaly. The world is open and huge in comparison to other free-to-play games of its type. It has a massive compendium of both weaponry, documents, mutants, factions, and characters all struggling in the same world together. I don't feel as though it'll be topped at all in my lifetime. Much like the Far Cry games, I'd also like to see some sort of animation for healing when the player is at low health. Instead of having to use a medkit or a stim pack, imagine how cool it would be if you took a bullet out of your arm or scraped a piece of shrapnel out of your kneecap. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it would make for a nice touch to a game like this, with a new animation taking place every time you come close to death. Another great idea. What if stalkers could betray you? Yeah, imagine recruiting someone into your squad only to have them take you into a specific location and ambush you with an enemy faction. You'd be pissed, but it's a pretty realistic mechanic that I don't think would be impossible to pull off, compared to everything else I've listed anyway. Now feels like a good time for me to ask, what are some mods that you would like to see added to Anomaly? Or even Gamma? Let me know in the comments, because I think if enough people say it enough times, it'll come true. And I don't doubt you guys have some interesting ideas for what the game could bring to the table, even after all it brings already. Destructible cover throughout the environment would be nice to see, considering the guns you're given in Stalker Anomaly are some of the most powerful I've ever fucking seen. So it makes sense that if I'm in an intense gunfight with a rival faction, there would be some pretty big bullet holes in most surfaces. Plus, it just makes combat that much more intense due to the fact that you wouldn't be able to hide behind certain structures for too long. Again, that might be an engine limitation, because I'm aware the more you destroy something in a game, the more it has to probably render those individual chunks. I'm not a game designer, so I don't know exactly how it works, but I'm sure it would be pretty performance heavy. And I'm a little shocked that this one doesn't exist after all this time, but where is the mod that allows you to actually use weapon attachments? You know, those pesky laser sights and flashlight modules that come equipped with most of the boomsticks and sharpsticks mod? Well, guess what? They don't actually work. They're merely cosmetic. How the hell has nobody made it a thing where you collect batteries for attachment modules and charge them? Zomboid has this as an available mod, but in Anomaly, you're stuck with an assault rifle that has a permanent laser glued to the chassis that never turns on. Just because I have an unhealthy obsession with tactical related stuff, I personally wouldn't mind seeing a mod where you can physically interact with your watch, setting timers, alarms, and even an animation for simply looking at your wrist and checking the time of day. I picture it like Call of Duty in that sense. And lastly, the final idea I have that could really bring the ultimate experience to its knees once and for all for Stalker Anomaly. The ability to play with friends. Look, if Anomaly or Gamma had multiplayer capabilities, chances are everyone and their fucking mother are going to play it. It's a free-to-play open world modded game full of story, character, loot, enemies, and lore. So much is there to be explored, and it would be a dream come true to experience it all with a handful of friends. Diving into the zone in a unified and strong group while communicating every step of the way is all that I really want to come for this absolute gem of a game. Imagine being able to customize your character. I'm talking shirts, pants, gloves, hats, and separate slots for armor. It's a bit ridiculous to ask for, I'm aware, but how cool would it be if you got to change how you look to a specific degree with varying clothing options scattered around the zone, and then you could hop right into an online server and explore with your friends. Maybe that's a stretch, who knows. Well, there you have it once again, everybody, my Stalker Anomaly mod ideas. I have no clue how to create a working mod, let alone how to upload it to ModDB or a workshop of some sort, but hopefully some of these rub off on the creative side of the mod community and they eventually come to the game for real. Is it that hard to imagine after all the other amazing mods we've gotten thus far? That's my story, I'm sticking to it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. So yeah, it'd be nice if someone could make online support for this game. Please and thank you. Please, pretty please. I'd like to play with my friends. Thank you.